Oh, goodness. We didn't even talk about 230. How amazing is that? That Trump's pitting all the social media giants against one another to keep their legal immunities for the evil things that they say and edit online. It's the happiest fucking thing that's ever happened to me. Finally, we're finally gonna get to sue those motherfuckers for fucking with us, or for fucking with our accounts.
Yeah,
they finally have to run a business the same way every other business in America is run, in constant fear of lawsuits. Welcome to the party, pal. You guys aren't going to have a bunch of extra money left over for these trust and safety divisions to go around making up problems that don't exist, are you? Because you got to be worried about getting fucking sued. What, Sean?
Are you jizzing in your pants prematurely again?
What do you mean? Why?
You know that executive order is basically like a public fit, right? He could have just told Barr to request the FCC, hey, look into this to see if they're doing it fairly. But like, he can't do anything with that executive order. He can't change the law. Only Congress can.
Sean, you don't fuck on the first date.
Yeah, okay. What do you mean? He's telling the FCC to get involved. The FCC doesn't go by Congress. They do their own shit.
Nope. Exactly. And they can tell him to pound sand if they want.
Well, he appointed the guy in charge of it. Well, it's just him telling his own people what to do.
There's
Null wants to come on and argue? Okay.
And the courts can ignore it too. But I see the fuck on the first date thing.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, does Null want to come on and argue with it? I know
exactly.
I know he's
No, I just
to
think that, I think Dick thinks like, poof, this is what happens.
Do I sound like a retarded person to you? That I think, poof, that's what happens?
Yes!
He waits forever until the right moment and then starts a Goliath that he's been building for years. It's always what he does. Always.
Sean, do you think he leaves carts around too? Do you believe that?
I missed that. Carts around?
Yeah, like carts, like shopping carts. You think he just leaves them around? You believe that thing too?
Oh, yeah.
No, get in here.
I know he does.
No, where are you at?
If he repeals this Section 230, I'm gone. Like, I'm shutting down everything. I'm just gone. I'm fucking out of here.
There goes Kiwi Farms.
You're gonna get sued underground if he does, right?
I'll time it so that everything goes down like as he's signing it, so people will check immediately after they hear the news, and it'll just be gone. I'll leave a manifesto up.
No, but the problem is that 230 just says as long as you're a publisher, you're protected. The thing is, they're not publishers because they're censoring, right?
Yeah.
So the point is that
the issue is that people want recourse to sue these companies, but instead of just making a new law that is a tort that says if you get banned from these large platforms unfairly, you can sue them for it.
Yeah.
People think, oh, well, we'll just fuck them in some weird avant-garde way. It's like I wrote on the forum, I said, it's like if Starbucks as a chain decided we're not going to let black people buy coffee at our store.
Illegal.
So instead of just making it so that black people can sue Starbucks for being kicked out of their store on grounds of race, they said, well, we're going to regulate all food and drink stores as hospitals, and just to spite them all. And it's like, it's the most weird, crazy shit possible. It's retarded.
I think you're thinking about it completely backwards. Because if you get kicked out of a place, you can sue them no matter what. Like if you get kicked out of a place, you can say
you can sue Twitter no matter what.
No, you cannot.
Whether or not you're actually going to get money for it is a different thing.
You will get it instantly thrown out of court if you try to sue for getting banned. It is not. You are not allowed to take that lawsuit to court and say I am suing Twitter for getting kicked off. They'll say 230 done.
Right.
But but they'll file I forget the name of it, but you'll have it removed. The same as if you sue a Starbucks for throwing you out for no reason. They'll just say,
there's no law.
There is nothing that the court can point at and say you're not allowed to sue Starbucks for discriminating on your racial class. And race is a protected class in California, just like your political ideology.
This is why I just want to fucking kill myself, because I can't make people understand that 230 protects everybody on the internet from having someone else posted on their fucking website come back to eat make them eat shit. And it's like, what you're asking for is a tort to sue these companies for kicking you off of them. You want new laws and you want a way to sue them that Section 230 has nothing to do with.
Yes,
Removing
it does.
It is a spite act.
No, absolutely not. You should, if you support free speech, the first place to seek redress based on speech or based on the violation of speech or the effects of your speech is courts. If you have the government say you're not allowed to sue based on damages of speech or censoring speech, then you do not have any protection over speech.
That is not what 230 does.
Yes, it does. It protects people from getting sued based on stifling or promoting speech that that they don't agree with in their moderation decision.
It does not.
Yes, it fucking does.
230 protects companies from shit that things other people say on their platform.
No, it protects against the lawsuits, not against what people say. It protects them against
the lawsuits. Are what people say. Think of it like this: 230 specifically has a hole for intellectual property,
right.
And if someone posts intellectual property that belongs to a third party on YouTube, for instance, in their movie review, Disney can file a DMCA to YouTube saying, "Take down our movie footage in this movie review, or we'll sue you." And that's because 230 has an explicit provision saying it does not cover intellectual property law. Without 230, even defamation will have that power. You can tell YouTube that this video defames me,
right.
And if you don't take it down, I will sue you. That is the entire point of 230. It has nothing to do with the opposite. If they remove content, it doesn't have anything to do with you not having recourse against them. You don't have recourse against them because there's no law saying that you do.
Why do you think you should be immune?
No, 230 does not insulate people from banning people.
Of course not, but it lets you sue because you did. Why do you think any company should be protected from lawsuits?
I bet you money. If you want to, I'll bet you $10,000 that if you go to court and you tell that court you were banned off Twitter and you want money for it, they will not say Section 230. They will say you failed to state a claim because there's no fucking law in any state or on the federal level where you can sue for being banned off a website. It's not 230 protections. It's you don't have a fucking claim because there's no fucking claim in any book of government in this fucking country. If you want a claim, the legislation should be a new fucking claim with damages you're owed for it.
You are not making any sense. If you are banned, if you're banned from Apple, Twitter, YouTube, if you're banned from all the big companies on the same day, like Alex Jones was, you can absolutely go to court and say these companies are working together in concert to, number one, silence my freedom of speech, and number two, destroy my business. You can absolutely say that in court, and they will listen without 230. 230 protects them from that.
That protected them.
230 protects them from their moderation, Null. It protects them from exactly what we're talking about. Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Yes, it fucking does. Go ahead.
All it does is protects the company from defamation charges and other torts of that kind. It has nothing to do with the moderation policies.
I thought the point of 230 was that they can't get sued for something they allow to be published.
It's also the opposite.
Yes.
It's also they can't get sued for posting it, and they can't get sued for the moderation they do to stop you from posting it.
The section that you're referring to, 230C, says that even if they do delete something, it does not mean that they are the publisher of the works they don't delete. That's all it says.
I'm pulling it up right now.
It's not to have something on your site.
Someone has to have.
No, I've been reading this, and it does seem like it gets misinterpreted. There's two different parts to it, just from my layman's understanding of it. And it's been a lot of the precedent has been set by this one Fourth Circuit judge, and it's kind of everything's followed suit after that. Do you know about that?
No, not specifically.
Well, dynamite drop in, Marty.
So what are you saying, Sean?
No, I'm saying I've heard both arguments, the one that Null is making and the one that you're making, and I don't know what it really is.
I don't.
All it says, I've read it many times. I've read it many times, and I've been talking about it for years.
Is Nick here?
All it does is it says, I don't see him in chat. All it says is that if you run a website, you're not liable for what's posted on it. And even if you do remove something from the site, you're not automatically a publisher of the things that you decided to keep. That's all it says.
Why do you think you should not be held liable for things on your website if you're curating your website?
Because
if someone I can't because the affirmative is not true. I'm not whitelisting what people say. I'm not a newspaper, an editor-in-chief of a newspaper saying, okay, this post is good, this post is good, this post is good. I'm just saying that this post can't be allowed. If I'm editing posts, if I'm making editorializations and headlines and stuff, and in instances where you do editorialize posts, they have ruled in favor of no Section 230 coverage for that site.
I mean, this has to be
what you want is a new claim. You want a new course of action that you can file for being improperly discharged from a large forum. That's what you're asking for.
This should be really easy. Someone has to have had their case thrown out because of 230, right, Dick?
Yeah, somebody tell Nick to call in. Let me text him right now.
It's there's no claim. You can't sue someone if they haven't injured you.
You don't think that's injured? Getting deplatformed off all these services at once? That's not injury?
Legally, I mean, you might be able to say that it's tortuous interference, but that's a really lofty claim to make. You have to prove conspiracy, which, as proven in the Vic Lasagna case, that's not too fucking easy. You want a new claim saying that these sites can't do that. Even if 230 was repealed, you still can't fucking sue them for banning you, because guess what? They didn't break the fucking law banning you. In fact, now, because they don't have that protection, they're even more justified in banning you, because they have to be super mega sure that every single thing on their site is not illegal and not defamatory.
Okay, Nick's calling in.
If you repeal this section of the law, and I'm only clarify, people saying that they just need to enforce the laws it's written are fucking retards, because there's no claim in Section 230. It's an implicit protection. It is not a claim. There's no law there. There's no criminal action there. It's just you are insulated from the damages that other people do as a consequence of you running a service. There is no claim in it.
I understand that part. I understand that you're liable for defamation people commit on your website. I'm waiting for Nick. Now I need Nick to give us the scoop on 230.
I mean, but Dick, do you know of someone who's had their lawsuit thrown out because of 230?
Didn't a senator recently sue for something? I mean, no, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be an easy. No. Like, if it's just theoretically might get your case thrown out, that seems.
And once you lose it, you'll never get it back. You'll never get it back. It'll be like the Patriot Act. Doesn't even matter if it's on a timer. You'll never get it back. And there's no other country you can run to. Because guess what? If I hosted my fucking site out of Estonia or Russia, I could still be sued for what's on it in the U.S. and I'd lose my fucking bank accounts and they'd fucking seize my domain names when they press that claim against Cloudflare or whatever. It would
Cloudflare has a lot bigger lawyers than you, though. I mean, I could see how they would rub you out, but
also, are they editorialized?
Except the major tech companies who would operate on a whitelisted sort of system that would instill a kind of censorship you cannot even imagine. It would instantly go from YouTube to corporate media TV in a single day, and not even like in a way that's like dramatic. It would be like with net neutrality. People would still cheer about net neutrality, but you have to give it time before you really start to feel how badly you've been fucked because of that.
Hold on.
That guy's claiming that Alex Jones' case got thrown out because of 230.
Alex Jones' case was thrown out specifically because of 230. Is Nick here? Nick, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, what's up? Buddy? So we have questions about the 230 protection. I'm saying that.
Hey, what's up, Null?
I want to kill myself. Here. I hate this fucking country and I hate everyone who lives in it because they're all fucking retards.
Yeah, because something's about to affect you. That's why you hate it. Null is saying that
pot meat kettle.
Null is saying that 230 only protects you for defamation posted on your platform
or other torts.
And I'm saying that 230 also protects big tech companies from getting sued for the moderation decisions that they do on their platform, specifically deplatforming Alex Jones and people like him who are because of their political affiliation. Can you please, as a lawyer, tell us what exactly 230 protects and doesn't protect?
230 technically protects websites from all civil liability resulting from their moderation policies at all.
Okay.
Thank you. It would be the answer would be both and.
Yeah, both.
I mean, that's the text.
Don't tell him that because you're wrong.
Arguing with a lawyer now, huh?
Yes. Yes. If what he's saying is that if you get banned from a platform, you can't sue because of 230, and that's not true. You can't sue because you get banned because there's no fucking claim to it. There's no tort. They haven't injured you.
Yes. Oh no, that's not true though. I mean, you can definitely be injured by being banned from a service.
But 230 wouldn't insulate that.
Yeah, it would. It protects from any independent tort resulting from the moderation policy.
No, read less of your forum and read a fucking book. How about that?
No. I mean, it's...
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
In what instance has that ever happened? And what tort did they claim?
I don't know which instance it would ever happen, but I could give you a hypothetical, for example.
Sure.
If Patreon removes someone, right? Like Patreon removes Dick tomorrow because of some sort of moderation policy, Dick could certainly...
because MasterCard and Visa card forced them to, which is always the instance.
I'm talking about a different thing, different than that. But let's say that people decided to bombard someone with white supremacy directly to Patreon, not through an intermediary bank company, which admittedly is the majority of these types of deplatforming. But if they were to do it due to their content moderation policy, Dick would definitely have a lawsuit against them for one, tortious interference with contract with every one of his patrons, for example. Mm-hmm. And that's a theory that's actually been used against Indiegogo, as well as Patreon in the case of Owen Benjamin, although their arbitration policies prevent it from going directly to district court. You have to go through arbitration first. So the tortious interference theory is a new one, and the arbitration policy is going to fuck them in the long run because now they have to pay up front because of a new California statute. But I'm getting off into the weeds here.
I saw that. So wait, can I just explain that one? Because it's really funny.
Yeah.
California law changed it so that if Patreon kills me, they have just interfered with my business with 4,200 patrons. So if I sue them over it, because of their arbitration policy, Patreon has to upfront the money to arbitrate each one of those relationships individually. So if I sue them, they have to immediately upfront like $20 million in cash.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah. So you have to get a comparable number of patrons to join the suit, but it's basically $200 a pop on the customer side, and then like $25,000 a pop on the on Patreon side. So
yes, California.
That is certainly a claim, and Patreon, if they're not arbitrating, could use Section 230 to insulate them from independent torts. But I will say, because it's in this text of the statute.
For independent torts from the people, not from the person affected.
Let's see. Hold on. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be held liable on account of any action voluntarily taken in good faith to restrict access or to availability of material that the provider or user considers to be obscene, lewd, lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing, or otherwise objectionable, whether or not such material is constitutionally protected, or any action taken to enable or make available information to information content providers or others a technical means to restrict access to material described in paragraph 1. So any action voluntarily taken to restrict the access, as long as it's taken in good faith, they cannot be held liable. It's a blanket civil liability protection. And I think that's where the disconnect that like you and I have over 230 is, because what you and I want to be clear on a lot of your statements recently. I completely agree with you on your treatment of 230.
You're talking to Null?
What was that?
You're talking to Null right now?
Yeah. And the overwhelming majority of cases are going to be where 230 is a good thing. And I have no faith in politicians to effectively fix this. So I'm largely on your side with saying that we need 230 to stay in place. But I do want to be clear that it is read as a blanket restriction and an affirmative defense to any liability for any action that would result from the taking of access away from someone from their website. And there are theories of liability available to that. Loss of economic prospects, loss of income, direct economic damages, stuff like that. It's all there. It's possible. We just don't hear about it very often.
Can I sue because they made the frogs gay? Can I sue over the making the frogs gay that they do, the moderation decisions?
Yeah. Yes. Sue over making frogs gay. That would be great.
Sorry.
But no, it's just the problem with it is that the reason we don't hear about these lawsuits is because they know they'll lose.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at the end of the day.
Nick, let me just say this. I also don't want the internet and you specifically to be sunk and destroyed by frivolous defamation lawsuits. Like, the entire, okay, my dad owned restaurants when half of the time I was growing up. Like, that's the last thing he did before he retired, is he owned a bunch of restaurants. And him dealing with people threatening to sue and suing over nothing, like spilling coffee on themselves. And I'm not talking about the famous case. I'm talking about just normal. Their hamburgers were undercooked. I got food poisoning. I slipped and fell in your restaurant. I'm going to sue you. It was relentless. Every fucking week or day, somebody would come shake him down. But because of that, he had, and every restaurant has this, insurance against exactly that kind of legal shakedown. As much as I don't want the internet to get mired in this eternal process of frivolous lawsuits, I do want I do want people to have the ability to seek compensation for harm that has fallen to them either because of speech or because their own speech was silenced. And I care about that much more than the industry of legal insurance that will spring up around the complete revocal of 230, which will not happen. I think it will only apply to the big guys, Twitter, Google, and Facebook, because they're political enemies of Donald Trump and the current people in charge of the FCC. That is what I think it will most reasonably happen, that it will be the big guys who get their coverage stripped away, who don't need it, and guys like you will be left alone. And then I want you to say your piece in full. But I understand you completely, and I want to give you my reasonable take on what I think will happen and what I think will benefit the internet. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think they'll fix it. I think it'll be like net neutrality, where they just repealed it, and people will wake up the next day and go, "Haha, Reddit! The internet's not down. No, Reddit's still up, so you can keep complaining about Trump. Nothing's changed." But it'll take a couple of years before people feel it, and I will be gone by then. I just think that it's a completely doomed prospect. Also, I do see it specifically with. I see what Nick is saying with Section C2 and AB underneath that.
Also, a lot of people are talking about there being a cutoff for like 10 million. If you have gross revenue of 10 million, it only applies to you.
That's the Hawley Act. I made a post about it. The Hawley Act is the one that says something like 30 million U.S. users, 300 million global users, 500 million annually. Problem is still, you could leave 230 exactly how it is and just regulate the payment networks, and you would have competition overnight.
Well, then we'd have to get rid of the Patriot Act, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You'd have to specifically, I mentioned in my post, I said that very specifically, Title III of the USA Patriot Act has to be changed so that the money laundering regulations are not so strict, so that banks don't have to worry about domestic problems as much. And they need to change it so that payment networks are regulated, so that they are required to allow legal businesses to conduct business on their networks. Because right now, MasterCard and Visa card control, I want to say like 90% of all... 90% of all international transactions conduced on the internet are handled via other networks. So it's not even just power projection within the United States. You can't go anywhere in the world and do business without MasterCard and Visa card letting you. So that would be the step. But if Trump suggested that, his brains would be blown out the next day.
And blame. The crazy thing about that, I was arguing with my buddy Ty on my show on Friday about that. I was like, well, what if the banks just defund Congress and refuse to process the payments of the of Congress or U.S. appropriations? He's like, no, they'd seize them in a minute. It's like, seize what? It's a payment processing network. You can't just seize it, and it's also global. And explaining that type of stuff to people is really, really difficult. But yes, we have to get equality in banking as a thing. Like, we have to go back to being...
People don't even know. Like, imagine this. This is something that could happen, and that would have been completely legal. If during the 2016 election, MasterCard and Visa card said that Trump's a racist, we don't support him, and we're taking all Trump companies off of MasterCard and Visa card. So if you went to book a hotel from the Trump hotels, after that, you'd have to show up with cash or a check in person to rent there, and that would be completely legal, and there's no recourse against it because it's a private company that just so happens to control almost every financial transaction on the internet. And
you can't convince boomers of that. They don't get it. They just think that the government could stop it.
Yeah.
No, if anybody tried to stop it, they'd be dead. It'd be like JFK. They'd just die. Everyone that they know would die instantly. So, I mean, I think, I don't know. I guess
a lot of
I'm
Teslas
looking
and
at
fire
it and
trucks.
think you could probably take out C2. I don't think it would affect me.
I agree with you
Yeah,
on the
I don't
payment stuff, man. If Trump manages to make a U.S. cryptocurrency or even a U.S. credit card, he will have been the greatest living human.
Well, I think Josh is right, though. The people, there are great powers that want to be able to manipulate the currency.
Yeah.
And they are not going to let go of that power.
Let him, you know what? Join him. Hey, you know what? We'll let you keep manipulating. You can print as much U.S. Disney dollars as you want, but we're putting it in the form of an EBT card, and we're giving it to every single citizen. We're going to control your creds, and we're giving it to everybody because the money doesn't mean anything anymore. And we just want you to have the ability to spend it and not be beholden to MasterCard and Visa. I think he could pitch it like that.
That's the entire challenge. And what's funny is that now I've noticed that they're regulating Bitcoin more across the world.
Well, here I got a doomsday scenario for you here. If Iran gets into Bitcoin mining, which they've committed to Bitcoin because they need to be able to send illegal money around all their terrorist shit. The Pentagon is either going to make Bitcoin illegal or it's going to invest in Bitcoin to stop a mining gap from happening, which means they're going to pay Amazon to control Bitcoin. That's the future. Is either the Fed controls a cryptocurrency or Amazon does, and I don't know which one I want more, or which one I want less.
We can get the great state of Israel to nuke their Bitcoin mining facility as hard as their
I hope
nuke
so.
plants?
God bless Israel. God bless the United States of America in that order.
Isn't already a huge portion of the Bitcoin mining done by a handful of either pools or...
Yeah, it shifts though.
Okay.
There's a balance to it that is going to be upset if Iran starts dumping money into it.
Can they even get processors?
I'm sending them. They asked me. I just sent them. Yeah, man.
Ship to
Libertarian.
PS4?
Yeah, ship them right over. All right, guys, do you have any... Thank you so much, Nick, for calling in. I hate having bad information on this show. I appreciate your perspective as well.
I mean,
No, you don't.
all information I give is bad, but that being said, no problem. I'm going to go back to eating my breakfast because it's breakfast time at 3 p.m.
What are you eating? Bloody Mary?
Fried eggs, breakfast sausages, and broccoli.
How are there riots close to you?
No, they're like 100 miles away.
Broccoli.
So I'm pretty insulated.
Yeah.
So if you were a chick, you could take credit for the riots happening right down the street and make some Facebook posts about how...
Exactly.
Did you see my riot?
No, I've gotten so many people asking me, like, are you okay? Are you safe? I'm like, yeah, man, there's nothing around here. Nobody cares.
Did you see my riot coverage on the kill stream?
I saw a little bit of it. I heard you got hit by a couple beanbags.
Yeah, they're these little foam things. I'm holding it up now.
Rubber.
Rubber.
How is that for you?
It's fun, actually. We're having a good time. It's like paintball.
I bet. Yeah.
I talk to Nick like he's my dad, like seeking his approval.
That's good, son. Next time, next time, try and do some good while you're out there.
I texted my dad about the riot, and I texted my whole family text thread. I was like, "Oh yeah, I was at the riot. It was really fun." And my dad goes, "Yeah, but you were on like the periphery." Like,
what a
motherfucker! I got shot twice by the police. Where the fuck was your ass? What are you talking about? The periphery? Fuck you. You know what? Now I hope they do come to the suburbs. I know if you shot a rifle at your age and with your problems, your fucking retinas would detach. I'll be there at the front of the line. How's this for the fucking periphery, bitch? Anyway.
Well, it's my pleasure to call in, man. No, we got to talk about this more because I've got questions on how they could fix it. I have no faith in them to fix it appropriately. But I think it's worth a discussion on how to start to carve out some of this stuff. My thought is you can regulate the banks if you incentivize them to be regulated and give them an excuse. Kind of like what Dick was talking about when Sargon got tossed is all they need is the excuse. So if you give MasterCard the excuse to do business with everybody through the guise of regulation that they have to, maybe that would be the way to do it.
Like an executive order.
So. I think if anyone even tried, they'd just kill him. Like, unironically, I think if anyone proposed legislation, they would get found out to be like a child molester with like a secret sex dungeon, and all their next of kin would be dead due to mysterious plane accidents and shit. They'd kill them.
No, you've gotten to the insurance companies.
You've gotten too dark, Null. You've gotten too dark over there in Serbia or wherever you are.
Also, why wouldn't they want to be told they have to take everyone's money?
That's what I mean. The insurance company
literally worthless. You're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar network that controls every cash or online transaction across the entire world. What
so they like being able to.
$40,000 a year mean to them means absolutely nothing. 3% of $40 million a year means absolutely nothing to them. The political damage that a dissident website advertising against their interest does is worth way more than 3% of whatever their cash transactions are. They would much rather those people just be bankrupt.
I think Cernovich needs to take the Null pill. He's over there eating black pills like he's cool, but Null's over here dropping real nihilistic pills. All right, Nick, get out of here. Thank you.
Yeah, later, man.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Well, shit, Null. I thought I was sad about the Cam girl getting killed in a car accident.
This is way worse.
Self-driving Tesla, but now I'm even sadder.
No, there's no way to like reel it in. It's just over. They'll touch 230 and they'll ruin it. And there's not really. I mean, I've spent years and years looking for countries to host shit in. That's not the U.S. I've read the Constitution of Suriname, trying to find precisely what country would be the best place to relocate to long term. And it's just like, no, it's just the U.S.
I got the answer for you,
the US
bud.
Gets rid of Section 230. It'll jeopardize freedom of speech across the entire world. The entire world will be poorer after this bill is fucked with, and it will be fucked with.
Well, I got good news for you. We're in space now, motherfucker. That's where we're going. We're sending Kiwi Farms up to space. They can't. What are they going to do? Go to Mars and shut you off, man? They can't go to fucking Mars.
All joking aside,
trust an
IPFS.
Elon Musk rocket to get there safe?
Yeah.
The cars can't even drive.
Yeah.
You'll be all right, man. You sound rough.
Oh, this week's been bad. Like, I've got cortisol levels so high I can feel it in my bones now.
Oh, man. I'm sorry that NP2 is momentarily down, but I'll get it back up.
No, it's fine. That's not it.
That's not it? Well, I feel bad for you. I'm sad when Null is sad.
No, you want some of this Cooking with Jack barbecue sauce?
Oh, God. That might just be the end of me.
Killed by Jack.
Out of all the things, that would be the best. That would be the most apropos.
Death by Jack sauce.
I hope you feel better, man. It'll be okay. They're only going to fuck over. It's just Trump. He's just fucking with Facebook and those guys. It'll be okay.
Right.
I promise.
We'll see.
All right. Bye, man. Thank you for calling in. Boys.
Oh, man, that was rough.
Boys, that was rough.
Started off with real fun stuff like rioting,
Yeah.
stealing, getting shot.
Let's do some advice and then let's get the hell out of here.